Indiana Jones, Indiana It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the show where we discuss the film Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, 3 minutes at a time. I am Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete. Jer, get back here. You're not an agent. Damn it. Mummert.
I don't know. That beats me. I'm just not an agent, Porter.
None of us are agents, but we are nice people, and we are here to talk about minutes 34 through 36 of Dial of Destiny. And these minutes begin with Helena answering Indy's question from before of why would you go after the thing that made your dad go nuts with, wouldn't you? And then meanwhile, the leather jacket agent, Agent Mason. I had to actually go and look up all the names of these characters because you're talking about them like by the face or their. Okay. So Agent Mason, she's the one in the leather jacket, is met in front of Hunter College by Durkin, her broken-ankled superior, as well as Kleber and Hawk. She tells Durkin that Shaw is inside with an old guy named Jones. Mason then needs to catch up to Kleber and Hawk, who barge in on their own. Meanwhile, Indy leads Helena into a big dusty storage room from which he digs out half the Antikythera and explains that Baz was obsessed with a German theory that Archimedes built the dial to use irregularities in the planet's movements to predict disturbances like tide fluctuations, storms, or, fissures in time. Meanwhile, in the adjoining offices, Mason catches up to Kleber and Hawk to find them rifling through Indy's office, and the minutes end with just a glimpse of someone innocently entering the frame in the background.
The wouldn't you? That is so well delivered. I love that. I absolutely love that. And it's a great rhetorical question, right? Yeah. I mean, because it completely ties into Last Crusade, and obviously Indy did lose his mind. I mean, that's what's so interesting. He kept kind of beating his dad up about this stuff, and his dad sort of kept his mind. But Indy at the end is like, I can reach it. I can reach it. Right? Yeah. He's sitting there, and so it's like, oh, okay. He actually lost his mind when, going after the thing that his father chased for all those years. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So last minute, I hadn't watched this minute or minutes, however you want to say it, and so I belittled the fact that there wasn't a more of a poignant tie into Last Crusade, and I will apologize for that because there, at least if you dig deep enough, there might be here.
Yeah.
No, that's nice. But what is he thinking? Is he thinking I probably should have supported my dad early on, or is he thinking, oh, you're screwed, lady?
It is interesting because he could be thinking both at the same. Like he could be thinking like. Probably in the forefront, he's thinking, oh, Baz, he was a good guy. I loved him a lot, and he did go nuts over this thing. And it sucks that now his daughter wants to go after it. He's feeling kind of, he's got the air of like just being kind of beat and tired, and oh no, here we go. For crying out loud. Jerry, you'll understand. He's like Gandalf saying to at the fellowship, the meeting with the elves and everybody, and Frodo steps up and he volunteers to go and take the ring, and just the look on Gandalf's face, he's like, oh, I knew this was going to happen, and it's kind of, in a way, it's great that it's happening. It should happen, but oh no, this poor guy. Oh my gosh. So that could kind of be what Indy's thinking with Helena. Like, of course she's going to go after it. Yeah. He's thinking like this poor, not so much this poor thing, but maybe I'm going to get sucked into it too. It's this whole thing that was probably bound to happen. There's no way I'm going to keep half the Antikythera tucked away in a shelf somewhere, and it's never going to come back, and Helena's not going to be involved. And what happened to Baz could happen to other people.
The thing that's interesting is they go directly to the, the bowels of Barnard Marshall City College, and he pulls the thing right out, and you're like, okay, he probably does that because she says, "Wouldn't you?"
That's what I'm. Did she have the skeleton key? Did she know?
Yes.
Does she know the story of Indy and his dad? And is she like, well, if I mention my dad, that's gonna be the key. Like that's the way that opens the door. Like is she being completely manipulative and doing that? Because
that's
like
a great question,
they sort of show her as a con artist.
They do.
You know, she's
Yeah. I think we do find out that she is like literally being manipulative. Like she's not being honest, and she's so she's jerking him around a little bit. But even if
practice that, like
maybe
she knows. Oh, this is the key. You mentioned Dad.
Like we were saying last time, or at least I was, that like it's weird that that the movie gets out a whole map and everything when we know that it's not going to lead anywhere.
Yeah.
Like he knows, we all know that the thing is not there in that river.
Which I hate, yeah.
But maybe it's like, maybe she is like, oh, okay, this is how you get him excited. You put him in a room, you put a map in front of him, you tell a big long story. This is your mission. This is what we got to do. You know,
his dad.
Yeah, mention your dad. Get back on your horse. Somebody's gone nuts over something.
You know what? That's a great question. Does she know that Indy's dad was a nuts on the subject of the Holy Grail and the whole thing? And does she know that? And if she does, is it one of those things? Because she reads like Archaeologist Weekly.
I think her dad would have told her.
Or her dad would, or C. That movie just ends with the dudes riding off into the sunset. Maybe they tell no one.
I'm not sure how her. Like, I still don't know how well Indy knew her. Like, it's weird that each of these latter two movies were introduced to characters for the first time that are Indy's closest friends for years and years and years. Which it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been hard. It was really hard for Mac, and it's still kind of hard with Baz for me to completely buy into that.
At least Baz showed up in the 40s.
No, I mean, they did a better job with Baz than with Mac, but it's still something about it. I don't know. I guess maybe because we know Indy so well at this point, it's like, oh, and then he had all these other things you never knew.
Right. Although I guess that is sort of supposed to be the part of the understood thing about Indiana Jones. Like there's just constant adventures, things we don't know about. Like that time I had fisticuffs with Freud or something. Like it's just like all these.
No, that's true. But
constant
like
multiple adventures that we don't.
Freud was his confidant for 20 years.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's not that he had other adventures. It's more that he had these best friends. Like were Mac and Baz close?
Yeah. Do they all know Sala?
Yeah. I don't know. It's strange.
They weren't at the wedding.
No.
No.
Although neither was Sala.
That's true. That is true.
Why wasn't Sala at the wedding?
John Rhys Davies is like, you got to be kidding me.
I know that. I know the reason there, but like, why? If we just look at the movies, like if he's living, that
seems wrong.
You happen to be right about this weird thing that Marshall or wherever that wedding is in the East Coast somewhere, and we know that Sala's living in New York. Why didn't he?
I know. Yeah. Do we know when Sala got to New York? He could be like an hour away from that wedding.
Yeah,
he's not there. That's awful. But we must have talked about this during Last Crusade. But was there like his dad was obsessed with the Holy Grail? Has Indiana Jones ever been obsessed like that with something? Like he has kind of a general lust for.
Oh, good.
Maybe, but I don't even know if that was like a that at least that lasted over a number of years and into his adulthood and stuff from when he was a kid. But I don't see him having like reams of like diaries written about the cross and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's more just
that's
the one that got away.
What about the Chachapoyan idol?
I thought about that, but he was kind of like, oh, that belongs in a museum. That one you're like sort of, but Pete, I think you nailed it. The Cross of Coronado is the one because that's the one. It's like it's 30 years later, and he's like off the coast of Portugal.
But I don't think if he never got it, I don't think he'd go nuts.
Yeah.
Like his dad was going loopy. Oh, I don't know. Was his dad really going loopy? Baz went loopy.
You know what? Let me ask you this. Here's a good one. At the end of Last Crusade, I was going to say his dad drinks the cup. And once his dad drinks and he gets the holy water like healed, then he's like, Indy, let it go. But you got to keep in mind, he's already drunk from the Holy Grail.
Wait, I'm going to get yelled at or you're going to get yelled at.
Yeah.
Does he actually drink from the Grail? Does Henry drink from it?
Wait,
I know Indy does. Indy does to prove that it's the right Grail because he doesn't turn into dust and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think he just pours the water from the Grail onto his dad's Alka-Seltzer wound.
Or doesn't he pour a little in his mouth too? I can't remember.
I think he maybe pours a little in his mouth. But you're like, okay, so
people are so
the fact that Indy drank the Grail does the Grail now have a hold on him?
Well, I keep wondering, like, is that why he keeps surviving all this stuff? Because the Grail's still.
I can totally get behind that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can totally get. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Although, they made it sound like if you quote break the seal, then the Grail doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, the Grail
the Grail can't leave.
Yeah.
Well, the Grail can't leave, but it doesn't say that the effects of the Grail can't.
I think it does. I think it says that you're only.
Well, it doesn't say you'll be immortal, but it doesn't say that it won't. Because otherwise, wouldn't Henry's wound just come right back as soon as he leaves the place, or is it?
Oh, you won't be immortal, but you'll never get arthritis.
But like, if the effects of the Grail only work as long as you're there, and they disappear as soon as you leave, like. When his dad left, would the bullet wound immediately come back and he dies on the horse? Like he died on the horse on the ride back?
No, I think if it's cured within the cave, like beyond within the seal, everything that happens, that's cool.
But then if you get immortality within the seal, can't you leave and?
I feel like at some point you're immortal until you die.
All right, hang on. So what happens if you drink from the carpenter's cup? And now you achieve immortality, and it's great. And then you walk over, and then you drink from the wallpaper hanger's cup.
Oh my God! You should have done that.
Yeah.
You know what? I just realized that we never ever brought up is it turns out it's not the Grail that has the magical powers. It's the location where it's hidden.
Yeah. That's a little goofy.
Did you guys
it's kind
see
of the place that's giving the Grail the power? Yeah, the body they found.
They found what was it, like the 12 men, the 12 skeletons in the tomb, the Nabataneans.
Yeah, Nabateans. Yeah.
Oh, I was so close.
You were. That
was an excellent try. You did better than I would have done. I like, we've got this kind of like 70s vibe, 70s like conspiracy movie kind of vibe in a lot of this movie. And I really like when we cut to Agent Mason on the street.
I do too.
There's like a little piano, little trill, little thing, and it sounds just like, the Parallax View, Marathon Man, or even like All the President's Men or something. It's got that very 70s kind of light, creepy.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be positive about this movie from now on.
There you go.
I have that her jacket.
I have that jacket in black. I have that exact jacket in black.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I have it in that color, like a burnt orange.
Oh, you do? Yeah, I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, I wore it at your.
Yeah, my wedding.
Yeah.
What's funny about this stuff is you see like her outfit and her whole style, and you're like, okay, we get it. It's 1960, whatever. But that's probably completely legitimate. Like that's all. Like on the one hand, you see it as like, okay, you're trying too hard to be. Like correct for the period, but it is absolutely correct for the period. So it's like,
well, the fact that Jerry and I both have that exact jacket means that there were a lot of them being made.
Right,
that's true.
1969.
It's true. Also, it's New York, and they're hip and the whole thing.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, come on, Dr. Jones. It's 8:00 in the morning. You know what? I have. What have you been doing this? 8 years. I am no smarter about movies.
I'm dumber.
I'm dumber about movies. Yeah, I'm
just dumber in general.
Do not understand this entire little scene. And Tommy, I'm glad you had to look up Hawk and Yank. And, like Robinson and
Bill
Horseshack.
I looked him up too because I didn't know any of these guys, especially the old guy on the crutches that gets out of the car.
Yeah, the guy
And I looked him up because he's got a little pin on his lapel, and I wasn't sure if it's a horseshoe or an omega, like a Greek omega.
Oh.
And I looked him up, and I couldn't find anything at all about that because, surprisingly, not a lot of people online are talking about this movie.
Get out of here.
But there is one of the few things people are discussing about this movie is, does this old guy on crutches, does Indy kill him in the upcoming scene? There's a lot of debate about that, so we'll have to keep our eyes open to see what happens.
Okay.
There's some question about whether or not Indy's is in trouble later in the movie because perhaps he kills the old guy here.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But what's Jerry? You're having a hard time. What's
I don't understand
I
this
wanna
at
help you
all.
out.
Like I'm sort of following stuff and it's making sense, and then I'm like, I have no idea who these guys are. I have no idea what they're doing. I don't
It's
understand
confusing.
what they're
They don't
doing.
explain
I
it very well ever. I
It
don't
didn't
think.
make sense
Okay.
to me the first time I saw it. I was like, why is that
Yeah.
guy on crutches? Wait, you're not an agent? Wait, what does that mean?
Yeah.
But I think the whole thing is okay. I think for one thing, the Durkin, the guy on the crutches, he's Durkin. He and Agent Mason are actually CIA,
Right.
and he's her, her boss. Kleber and Hawk, guy from Narcos, and the big German guy, they, I guess, are just personal, I don't know, bodyguards or agents of Fuller or Schmidt, if you want to call him that. So they're all looking for Shaw.
It's strange that they're involved in this when the CIA higher up guy is like, you're not an agent. Like, it's strange that they're allowed to be. Like,
Right.
I'm struggling to understand why they're there.
I think that. Well, why? Who's there?
Why Hauke and
Because I think they
Kate.
work specifically for Fuller, and he
right,
wants.
but
them
why
there.
would he? But he's not in charge of the CIA. Like, it seems
No, but
strange.
he's like they might be his like literally his personal bodyguards or something, or I don't know,
yeah,
friends or.
But why would his bodyguards be going on a CIA mission?
I think okay. Well, it depends on what everybody's even trying to do. Like, why do they want Helena Shaw? I'm guessing they're trying to get to the other half of the Antikythera, assuming
Mm-hmm.
he has one maybe already.
Right.
And the CIA is probably not like, oh, we need to get the other half of the Antikythera, but they might be like, oh, he's our guy. He put us on the moon. We are charged with helping him out with this or something.
Don't know.
Whatever it is, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't see a. I'm having. I'm
I-
struggling.
okay,
I'm
so-
trying to be
It's squishy.
positive, but
It's a
I'm
little
I'm
squishy.
struggling to see a connection there.
I
Yeah.
don't understand. But okay,
Yeah.
works.
Maybe it'll make more sense. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But
the
what-
thing that
yeah,
I was messed up on is like, why is that guy on crutches? That's like a weird like character thing. But now
I
I'm
like
just
that.
like, oh, I think it's literally just because he's hobbled. He can't. Now Kleber and Hawk are free to do whatever they want, and he can't catch up to them. Like just
Well,
physically, he can't.
I think it came out too. I don't remember James Mangold said it, or someone at some point I think said they wanted to show that Indy could only outrun literally an old guy on crutches. I think they were trying to show that Indy was barely able to outrun this guy that was on crutches. Like,
Wow, that's funny.
showing kind of where Indy is in his life.
Yeah. That's
But
So
I
are
was-
those guys are like double agents?
I don't even
Yeah.
think they're double agents. I think they're,
No, I think they're double. Like I think they're.
but they're not CIA. So what are they doubling? Like what
They're
are they?
they're Mads
That's true.
Mikkelsen's like
Yeah,
they're
they're just
hanging with
agents.
him.
They're just they're henchmen who were somehow
They're
have been
henchmen.
invited by the CIA to help them out on a.
I think
secret
it's like
mission.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's an analogy out there somewhere, but I can't quite like you've already got I don't know. I don't know, the Secret Service working for the president, but then you've also got like the Washington police who have to figure something. Like there's like overlap of duties. I don't know.
I could see that. I mean, yeah, I just struggle to see why the like director of flight operations at NASA's guys would be I don't know. But
There must be more
that
that we're going to learn, I think, maybe.
hopefully.
I
But
don't
one thing
know.
that did I think give us a big window into something that we've asked a bit over the last two movies is we've wondered how widely known Indiana Jones is. And we
Yeah.
know in Crystal Skull that he was high up in the CIA or high up in like not the CIA, but high up in intelligence
Defense
services and
something,
high
yeah,
up in
intelligence.
secret missions. Yet this guy who's also high up in the CIA doesn't apparently have any idea who he is. So maybe he's
Yeah.
not that well known, even though like as soon as they called the military last time, they're like, oh yeah, let him go.
Although the two guys who were interrogating Indy and Crystal Skull, they didn't actually seem to know his record until
that's
Bob
true.
Ross showed up.
Yeah, that's true. Bob Ross. But so it's interesting. Like was everything he did so covert that it's not even in the CIA, it's not widely known, or even in military circles, it's not widely known.
Or maybe he just never did anything that impressive. Like he
Yeah.
did help out, but a big deal. Who's I don't know the name of every agent who helped out during World War II. I don't know. Crying out loud.
But it's also interesting that
Big
this.
war.
So it's not like an X-Files situation too, where there's like an agent who only goes after people looking for historical artifacts. Like there's, like X-Files, you got agents who only go after like supernatural stuff. So there's not like there's not an analogy here where there's an agent who only goes after, like, who would know about the Ark of the Covenant and who would know about the Holy Grail or about the other stuff that Indy had done.
Yeah. I guess not. Or they're just not asking him. He's in his little Mulder closet somewhere.
Well, I was just thinking it's probably not this guy. It's not Durkin.
Right. Speaking of Last Crusade, Indy, we get into this, this dusty, hallways of this archives place, and Indy takes her to this drawer, and there's a bunch of arrowheads there that he lifts off and gives to her, and then takes out the box with the half the Antikythera. Is that a sly Last Crusade X marks the spot thing? Or like the arrowheads are they're arrows pointing to a secret
my gosh. Or I think that's actually is that the Jovitos.
Oh wow, he pulled those out of his back or something.
I thought it was all like lances of Longinus. It was like
maybe.
Oh wow,
whole collection
all
of
the
them.
fake lances.
When you know what, Pete? Question for you, because you have a good eye for this stuff. When Indy walks into that like dusty library, is that a bust of him? Like, did he finally make it into a museum?
Yep, he's so proud.
That's awesome. One of the guys looks like Ted Koppel, like one of the busts.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Koppel. But I will say that as somebody who worked for 4 years at a university library, a very large university library system, and when I worked in the main library at Indiana University, they had a giant, like, rare secure book section, and it looked exactly like this. Like you'd go into the cage, like you'd unlock the cage.
Oh wow,
and it was like a chain link fence like this.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I like it.
Well, so I have 10 million questions about this. First of all, Indy says "this way." Now that's a famous line.
It is?
It is?
Isn't it?
I'm scared.
Well, what doesn't? Well, certainly Gandalf says it's this way.
Yeah. See?
No,
He
but
knew.
doesn't he? I can't remember. Doesn't he say that a few other times, like in some of these other? Does he say that in Last Crusade this way, like while walking through?
I think he does the Egyptian way. He was walk this way.
Walk
Yeah.
this way.
Walk this way, sir.
I love when I stump you guys with my stupidity.
It's easy to stump with stupidity.
No, I'm hoping often when you do this and we like gasp and laugh, and we turn out to be right. So
Yeah. What's the matter with Pete and Tom? They don't remember when he said this way.
Well, so once again, we have like the Antikythera, and it's like one of the most powerful tools in history, and it's sitting here in the basement of Barnard City College.
To
Yeah.
me, that's one of the parts of this movie that rings true.
Okay, so
Sure.
hold on. Here's my question for you. Is this because Indy learned his lesson from Raiders? He wasn't going to be like fools, bureaucratic fools. They don't know what they have there. Was he like, there's no way I'm handing this over to the government. I'm going to put it right. Okay.
I think yes. And B, I think so much human knowledge is hidden away, like hoarded in these museums.
Yeah.
Like all over the world, like museums don't have, like it's a huge issue is that most museums have so much stuff in storage that it's too much to catalog. B, most of it was stolen and people don't even know what it is anymore. And so they're constantly making huge discoveries just by going into the archives of stuff in their own museums.
Wow.
And it's like, what's it? It's amazing. Like there's so much stuff. And like the British Museum has warehouses filled with their stuff. And it's like, all museums almost have that same problem. And that's why, like archaeologists today say it's often better to leave things in the ground for future generations that are able to A, store them in a place where they'll be safe, and B, have the tools to properly analyze that we may not have today.
Well, that sounds insane.
But
I
it's true. Like,
mean,
there's
I
a lot of
get
stuff's
it,
taken
but-
out of the ground,
Yeah.
and it goes into a place like this, and it's miscatalogued or it's not cataloged. You lose the context, and it loses its meaning. Like it only has meaning in relation to where it's found, and so
Wow.
like just an object by itself was worthless apart from whatever monetary value Indy has.
Incredible.
It's all. I mean, it's all. There's probably also the sense that, like, oh, this was hurting my friend Baz, and I took it and I hid it away.
Yeah.
Like, it should be buried somewhere, or hidden away somewhere.
It's interesting though that he says, he says conjecture really, and yes, there's quite a bit of that here. But it's funny because he says Archimedes had figured out that the movements of the moons and planets weren't perfect, and he found irregularities in their rotations, which is interesting because in the actual Antikythera, I think I said it right, Antikythera mechanism, famously, there are huge errors in the way the orbits of some of the planets are predicted. So it's funny that they're leaning in onto the fact, like, whoever made the Antikythera mechanism got it wrong. And it's funny they're saying he knew it so well he could find fissures in time.
Oh, it's funny. So like they sort of reverse engineered that he was right or something, that his mistakes were actually tracking irregularities that are there.
Yeah, but like something like the Mars orbit is, it's like 30%. Like it's got an error of 30%. Like he was not that accurate in some of these.
Idiot.
Which I mean is not. Yeah, at the time was still pretty amazing, but it's funny that now it's just sort of. Well, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to welcome this universe as what it gives me.
Here's another positive for you, Pete. At least I think it's a positive. Yeah, he's explaining the whole thing. There's this theory that he built the dial to track these irregularities so that he could use it to predict storms and things like that, and weird tides and stuff. And then he says, and then he realized he could do bigger things like find fissures in time, which could be a real goofball thing for Indiana Jones to say, like akin to like aliens or something, little green men from Mars. But he says it. He's got his glasses on. It's a dimly lit room. He says it.
Yeah, it works.
He says it, and it sounds like a lot like he's saying, lightning, fire, power, God or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
He's like,
yeah, I completely agree with you. Jinx.
Yeah. He he's not making fun of it, but he's not taking it seriously either.
Yeah. No, it works.
Yeah. I like Harrison Ford. He's good at his job.
He's so good at his job. So, but once again, we have this thing that is not Indy's story, right? This was Baz's story. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of like an Abner thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or Henry Jones.
Yeah. Going through this, they did a lot of things right. A lot of the callbacks.
Yeah,
I mean, I really think so. A lot of the callbacks, the little, the little like, how about that, what, Pete? That's nasty. That's nasty.
Now, Jerry and I saw this together. Now I know why Jerry stood up and cheered when he said this way, and everybody in the theater was looking at him. Now I get
it. Now you're getting nasty. That's a line, isn't it?
That's an actual line.
That's an actual line.
I do kind of. I've been reading this book on the history of math, which sounds like it would be boring, but it's actually fascinating. But there's this
then
this
they
idea.
Found 3.
What happens when you turn
blew everything wide open
when you turn 50?
Yeah, exactly. But there's this question that's asked: is math real? Like, is math a real thing?
Yeah.
Like, is it something that we discovered, or is it something that we invented? And is it like an imaginary thing that we use to describe the universe, or is it something that actually exists in the universe?
Yeah.
And
I've heard that before too. That's weird.
I like the idea that sometimes is what Archimedes did here was he discovered something, like he found something like a pattern that works, whether it's true or not. Mm-hmm. So kind of like, math, no one, like it's a big debate. Like, is math a real thing or is it not a real thing? Or like, I mean, is it an imaginary made up thing or is it something that actually exists?
But if it's an imaginary not to get to a huge debate about math, but if it's an imaginary thing that we made up, does that make us completely brilliant and masters of the entire universe because we invented a thing that actually explains everything and totally works and you can use it to measure and plan and figure things out?
Well, yeah, I think it does. I mean, I think it does kind of make it yeah.
What's interesting is, for the layperson's perspective, it's like all about sort of predicting outcomes, and
It is. It's finding patterns.
yeah, finding patterns. Except that you're like, yeah, except if you're not good at math, it's not predicting.
That's the problem. You have to trust people that are good at math.
Yeah.
To predict, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's also like whether it's
solve for X. Oh,
X isn't a number. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
exactly. No, it makes sense. Solve for X. You just
Uh-huh.
But it also it's kind of a lot like all the movies that you two guys like all the Hobbit, like troll, like superhero movies, where it math makes sense as long as its objects may all be fictional, but it makes sense as long as you stay within the rules of that universe.
Yes.
So like
yeah.
Jerry can say, "Oh, a troll always has long gray hair," and says, "Hey, Gandalf, how are you?" You know,
A troll has long
his-
gray hair. Listen to this guy.
in his-
I love hearing Pete's narrative, like Pete's version of J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah.
but in
One of those long-haired trolls.
Yeah, as long as
Hey,
as
how
long
are
as it
you,
fits within
Gandalf?
that universe, it's accurate.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of this podcast.
And you could be totally allergic to Tolkien or math.
Yeah.
You know, if you could look at a
Yeah.
page of problems and just be like, oh, get me out of here. Or you can see a wizard in a pointy head
Well,
and
that's
go, oh,
the
for
thing.
God's sake.
There might be equally valid ways that we haven't made up yet to describe the way the universe is or works.
Yeah.
And maybe Archimedes found one of those, because he was. One thing I think is interesting is they had a lot less knowledge than we have now, like
Yeah.
empirical knowledge. But B, the human mind hasn't evolved in that short amount of time. So I mean, he was obviously he was considered one of the smartest people in antiquity, and he obviously could have had the same brain power as like an Einstein or Niels Bohr or whoever.
There's a really good episode of Futurama where they find out that Leonardo da Vinci was still alive on the planet that he came from, where he's actually considered an idiot because everybody else is such a brilliant genius. And it ends with like he dies, and at the end, like this little girl goes, "Poor Leonardo da Vinci. He sure was stupid." And I'm going to think about that every time we talk about Archimedes. So I got that out of the way. Yeah. And then, our buddy Agent Mason shows up in the office, the college office.
Speaking of Mason, I think it's interesting. Like when we first, I do feel like they tell us a lot about a dynamic here that I don't know if it is explained very much, but like when we first see her, and Kleber says something to her, he says, "Parade's coming soon. So what we got?" And she bashes him with her shoulder and walks right past him and ignores him.
Yeah, she knows he's not an agent.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah, and she probably knows where he's coming from, what he's about.
And I don't know if that I don't remember if that comes back, like if they keep building on that or not.
They very well might.
I hope so.
Yeah, you'll see, Pete.
You'll
one
thing that's really kind of fascinating is, and again, this is filmed very well. They pull out the Antikythera, and it's fascinating. What is the woman's name again? Damn it, Helena.
Which one?
Helena. She takes the wombat. Also takes the flints. You know what I mean? The little spearheads.
Yeah.
She takes them as well, and then she takes the Antikythera over and opens it up away from Indy, which is a great scene because she kind of gets like Gollum-esque about it.
Right.
And they have a close-up
What does
on
that
her
mean?
face, and she's playing with the
Explain Gollum.
thing.
He's a long-haired goblin, Pete, who says hi to
Who says,
Gandalf.
"Hi, Gandalf."
What's up?
But does she?
Aren't you
I
precious?
do like that they show her with this. I'm assuming you're trying to describe something similar to Indiana Jones's gold lust.
Yeah.
Somebody who's covetous of a
Yeah.
specific
Yeah.
object.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he-
like when he sees the Chacha Point idol, that's kind of what you see on her face.
Yes.
When she sees it turns.
Yeah,
this-
exactly. And it's well lit. And if you look, like he's distanced from the Antikythera now. It's like it's not his thing. He's just kind of reading. It's a little sterile. He's like, oh yeah, here it is. Here's the thing. And she's got that special look of Gollum.
Why doesn't we see in this moment you're talking about, we see Kleber like sticking his nose in the room and he hears them talking and he knows where they are. Why isn't he just going in there like either guns a blazing or Fists of Flying or something like that?
Well, I wonder, because he's not an agent. I wonder if at this point he knows he can't be too forward.
I think he gets super forward in about 30 seconds.
I seem to remember that he does as well. Yeah.
But
I didn't pick up. I don't think I ever picked up watching this that he wasn't an agent. Like that goes by really fast here, and I don't think that's very well called out. Like I don't because I didn't know who these people were really, and then B, when I listened to the dialogue really close, I was like, wait,
what exactly?
What does that mean?
What does he say? I don't hear that. Like he goes over to the door. Yeah, what does he say to her?
He just says, "Found him."
Oh, found him. Okay.
Yeah.
He goes, found him.
He's a good creep.
He's super creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like
even when he's a good guy in Narcos, he's creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Gosh, I gotta watch that again. That was so good. I gotta
really
see. Do they have 3 seasons or 4?
It's I want to say it's like 2 or 3 of regular Narcos, and then there's the Mexican one that might have 2 seasons or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a famous line in the Dirty Harry movies, wasn't it? Did it have 3 seasons or 4?
Yeah, he would say that in every movie.
I don't even
and like it
remember
got
at
a
this
little
point.
more diluted every time he asked how many seasons there were. You're like, oh, come on, that's from the first one. Why does he keep saying how many seasons there are?
Well, do you, punk?
Do you have a 4th season? I can't remember.
know
It
it's
got
really
picked up.
strange.
What is it? What is this? I gots to know.
I gots to know. Yeah, I gots
to know. Good grief.
It was weird about the. Okay, so you have 4 Dirty Harrys, but then what the hell was Tightrope?
Tightrope was something else. That wasn't a
it's
Dirty
not
Harry
Dirty
movie.
Harry.
Yeah, he's allowed to be in movies where he's not dirty. But he's a cop. He's like a city cop.
Yeah,
so
is he
seems like
Dirty
should be
Harry-esque in Tightrope?
I never
Not
saw Tightrope.
really.
I saw Tightrope and I don't remember it.
I did too. It was a long time ago. Is that the one where he's got some like weird like kink or something? He's drawn into the seedy underbelly of whatever city he's in.
Right.
And there's handcuffs and leather and stuff.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Is Clint Eastwood ever drawn into a clean underbelly of anything?
Like
Yeah, why are there already clean underbellies? No one's ever getting drawn into clean
the
underbellies.
Avon Lake Panera.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a welcome wagon chapter here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Some guy I barely know invited me to this party, and it was all like beautiful and clean, and they gave me juice and a cupcake.
One of the worst things, you go to the Suburban Cracker Barrel and it's like, oh my gosh, what happened in here? It's like 7.
Well, speaking of Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, speaking of Cracker Barrel and CDM, let's see. This just in. Coming hot in over the wire. This just in from Professor Christy Porter.
Look out.
So now that Indy is retired, what is to happen to his drawer of trinkets and goodies and antikytheras?
Oh.
Yeah. Like he's never returning there.
That's true. Yeah. Wait a minute. If she hadn't shown up, would he have just left that there?
Yes.
That's
I
weird.
think he would have left
That's
that
weird.
there.
That's to me. That's the realist. That's the cinema verite. That's
Right.
the kind of thing that happens in real life. That's why no one knows what's in their collection.
And then that would be the end credit scene where somebody like finds it. What's this thing? I don't know. Throw it in the rest of the junk.
No, I like the movie. Just kind of ended it right there, like with him walking out of the school, and then the camera pans into this secret thing, and they go over to the drawer, and that's the.
I would have
The
loved
same
it.
guy from Raiders who wheels wheels the crate back finds.
I was
it.
going to
He's
say
like,
what you're going to have is you're going to have the ending of it is going to be like Indy being wheeled away in a wheelchair. He's the arc, and it's like, you know,
some professor guy.
yeah. Go see
Tom,
go see eat applesauce at 7:30 and watch Matlock.
You're kind of breaking my heart, Tom.
No, what I do?
You keep saying 70s thrillers and 70s gritty thing, and I keep hoping that's going to be this movie, but I don't feel like that's ever this movie.
It flirts heavily with it, and I kind of agree. It doesn't totally become that, but it is. I think there's enough of it in this movie to make me be like, oh, so that's what it would look like if Indiana Jones was, you know, Robert Redford and the 3 Days of the Condor or something. Like the next couple of minutes are exactly 3 Days of the Condor in a way, but we'll get there. We'll get there, Pop. Well, if we don't have anything else, I say we all leave.
Adjourn to Gandalf's.
Yeah, let's all head over to Gandalf for some elf wine and some Hobbit cookies, and it'll be great. And we'll all wear rings, and it'll be awesome. But please, everybody, have a great time. Have a great week.
Tang.
Have a great tang. Enjoy some tang. The astronauts are here. The parade's coming. And please come back here next week for minutes, 37 through 39. That's how math works. We invented math. We can use it to count by threes. Right here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Oh, hey, Gandalf.
How you doing, Gandalf? It's me, Indiana Jones.
Okay, you can't put this in there, but is Tang?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say Tang
no,
anymore?
leave it in, and yeah.
It's on the shelves. Little kids can see it in the supermarket. Mommy, what's Tang? Ow, why'd you slap me? I didn't do anything wrong, Mom.
It's how little baby astronauts are made.